dawn in Danzig, on a spit of sand. The first shots echo across the land. Westerplatte holds a defiant, fading light against the coming, overwhelming night.
But the war begins not just on soldiers' ground, but where the morning's peace is shattered by a sound. In Wheeling, where the church bells used to ring, the Luftwaffe brings a different, hellish thing. No soldiers there, just sleep and waking fear. The first of many towns to disappear. September sky turned iron, turned to flame. A blitzkrieg bearing a forgotten name. Panzer columns tearing through the autumn wheat. A storm of steel and desperate retreating feet. The earth itself shook with the grim advance. A calculated, cold, and brutal day. The borders bled, the rivers ran with haste as terror moved with unrelenting pace. They promised life, they offered only chains across the forests and the shattered plain. Just when the heart thought it could bear no more, came thunder from a different eastern shore. On the 17th, the second knife plunged deep, while promises of brotherhood lay cheap. A pact in shadows, sealed with cynical hand, divided the bleeding, prostrate land. September sky turned iron, turned to flame. A blitzkrieg bearing a forgotten name. Panzer columns tearing through the autumn wheat. A storm of steel on desperate, retreating feet. The earth itself shook with the grim advance. A calculated, cold, and brutal day. Two flags now flew where one had stood before, on a map redrawn by greed and war. A generation's world was torn in two by a betrayal that the whole world knew. From Westerplatte's bunkers to the Vistula's white flow, the seeds of a long global winter started now to grow. long, long no.
The harbor's seized, the sky is gray with smoke. A captive bird, a cruel and sudden yoke. But in the steel heart of the captive Orzel, the eagle still, a crew of 39 defies the conqueror's will. With cunning hands and nerves of ice, they plot their silent flight to slip the chains of Dansk and vanish in the night. Through mined and guarded waters, under Kriegsmarines patrol, they navigate by courage to reclaim a stolen soul. And they ran silent.
bridge to be hallowed, no bell to mark the loss, just the endless shifting seabed and the everlasting moss. The crew, their names remembered in a silence vast and deep, are forever on their patrol in an eternal sleep. They escaped the foe to fight him, they struck a telling blow, then joined the very secrets that the Baltic Sea does know.
To a freedom hard and true, flew one last unseen mission, where the sea and sky are blue. No surrender, no They called us the few, the knights of the summer sky. But some of us had seen our homeland die. We brought a different fire across the sea, a debt of vengeance and a legacy. With polished words on maps in English in our ears, we faced the Black Cross swarms and conquered fears. Not for a king or empire, but for a land erased from maps. We write our answer in the sky, perhaps. 303 and the squadrons at our side, with a hurricane's roar and the nation's wounded pride. We climbed into the sun where the Luftwaffe dared to fly, and taught them how a free man fights and how a free man dies. The highest score, the fiercest will, in that desperate shining hour, we were the polished hurricane, unleashing all our power. They doubted us at first, with protocols and rules. They saw the exile, not the sharpened tools. But when the controllers vectored us to fight, we turned the chaos of the dogfight right. The Kosciuszko emblem shining on the Spitfire's frame, each victory a whisper of our unextinguished name. For every town in Poland under a foreign boot, we offered from the cockpit our absolute salute. 303 and the squadrons at our side, with a hurricane's roar and a nation's wounded pride. We climbed into the sun where the Luftwaffe dared to fly, and taught them how a free man fights and how a free man dies. The highest score, the fiercest will, in that desperate shining hour, we were the polished hurricane, unleashing all our power. We didn't have the time for lengthy, slow campaigns. Our homeland's clock was ticking with invisible chains. So every sortie, every intercept, every dive, we fought with all the future we had left alive. For Warsaw burning, for the hope we had to bring, we gave the battle of Britain a razor-sharp Polish wing. against the few, but we remember the many. Nibo było naszym domem. The sky was our home, around the wide astra, through adversity to the stars.
In the Catton forest, where the birch trees weep, they led them from the camp, from a promise they would keep. The lawyers and the teachers, the poets and the sons, the engineers of futures, the men with steady guns, hands bound not by rope, but by a cynical deceit. A silent snow-dam clearing where the bitter truths would meet. A pistol's crack, a single shot, a number, not a name. To silence not just bodies, but a nation's very frame. And the snow fell down on Catin, trying to hide the crime. A blanket for the guilty for a long and frozen time. But the earth remembers secrets that the powerful deny, and the truth can only slumber with the dead and staring eye. Then came the loud denials, the grand and righteous lie, pointing to the west with a fury in their cry. Fascist beasts, the headline screamed, a story neatly spun, while mothers clutched old photographs, waiting for a son. For decades in the textbooks, the fiction was maintained, a ghost of accusation, politically ordained. The proof was in the soil, in the uniform and bone, but the lie stood like a statue, carved from blood and stone. And the snow fell down on Catin, trying to hide the crime. A blanket for the guilty for a long and frozen time. But the earth remembers secrets that the powerful deny, and the truth can only slumber with the dead and staring eye.
The snow could not stay pure. Onkatine could not hide the crime.
The birch trees bore their witness through the passing of the time. And the earth gave up its secrets, though the powerful deny. And the world can hear the echo of that silence, final cry. No lie can stand forever on a grave of such a scale. Only memory and justice can begin to tell the tale.
Remember the names they tried to erase. Remember the truth they could not face. Captain. The forest remembers. We must not
the sun a hammer on a sea of brass, the wind a sculptor carving dunes of glass. We came from forests, from the Vistula's flow, to this ancient desert where the sirocco's blow. Our homeland's map was torn, our flag in exile furled, but we carried Poland with us to the other side of the world. Tobruk, a name like a fortress, a scar upon the sand, the last defiant harbor in a besieged and burning land. And they called us the rats of Tobruk, and we took it as a name, a scrappy, digging, biting kind of fame against the panzer columns and the fox with his design. We held the line, we held the line, with rusted wire and courage and dust in every breath. We scribbled our defiance in the margins of our death, for the honor of the missing, for the homeland far away in Tobruk. We would make our stand, and here we'd stay. Rommel's shadow stretched across the desert floor, a master of the movement of this mechanized war. He threw his steel against our dust, a storm of fire and dread, while overhead the Stuka screamed and filled the sky with lead. But in these dugouts, in this hellish our death, for the honor of the missing, for the homeland far away in Tobruk, we would make our stand, and here we'd stay. We traded polished winter for this everlasting heat, traded familiar woodlands for this barren rocky street. But the fight was still the same one on this distant foreign stage, to rage against the darkness, to turn another page from the ghetto walls in Warsaw to this perimeter of war. The same unbroken spirit, the same unquenchable fire. Who held the fortress in that old besieged town? We broke the Fox's strategy, we spoiled his grand design, we held the bloody line. With brotherhood and fury and honor in our chest, we gave the world a lesson that the outmatched fight the best. For the future of the homeland, though we couldn't see the way in Tobruk, we would made our stand, and in Tobruk we stayed. Tobruk.
The visage remembers the names. The sand remembers the game. We were the rats, and the fortress stood.
A different hellish thing. flags now flew where one had stood before, on a map redrawn by greed and war. A generation's world was torn in two by a betrayal that the whole world knew. From Wester Platte's bunkers to the Vistula's wide flow, the seeds of a long global winter started now to grow.
is gray with smoke. A captive bird, a cruel and sudden yoke. But in the steel heart of the captive or sail, the eagle still. A crew of 39 defies the conqueror's will. With cunning hands and nerves of ice, they plot their silent flight to slip the chains of Dansk and vanish in the night. Through mined and guarded waters, under creeks Marines patrol. They navigate called us the few, the knights of the summer sky. But some of us had seen our homeland die. We brought a different fire across the sea, a debt of vengeance and a legacy. With polished words on maps and English in our ears, we faced the Black Cross swarms and conquered fears. Not for a king or empire, but for a land erased from maps. We'd write our answer in the sky, perhaps. 303 and the squadrons at our side, where the hurricanes roar and a nation's wounded pride. We climbed into the sun, where the Luftwaffe dared to fly, and taught them how a free man fights and how a free man dies. The highest score, the fiercest will, in that desperate shining hour. We were the Polish hurricane, unleashing all our power. They doubted us at first, with protocols and rules. They saw the exile, not the sharpened tools. But when the controllers vectored us to fight, we turned the chaos of the dogfight right. The Kosciuszko emblem shining on the Spitfire's frame, each victory a whisper of our unextinguished name. For every town in Poland under a foreign boot, we offered from the cockpit our absolute salute. 303 and the squadrons at our side, where the hurricanes roar and a nation's wounded pride. We climbed into the sun, where the Luftwaffe dared to fly, and taught them how a free man fights and how a free man dies. The highest score, the fiercest will, in that desperate shining hour. We were the Polish hurricane, unleashing all our power. We didn't have the time for lengthy, slow campaigns. Our homeland's clock was ticking with invisible chains. So every sortie, every intercept, every dive, we fought with all the future we had left alive. For Warsaw burning, for the hope we had to bring, we gave the Battle of Britain a razor sharp Polish way. So hear it now. 303, the legend in the blue. The sky sky was our domain, and we knew what we must do. We climb into the fire, where the love to have met its fate, and turn the tide of history before it was too late. The highest scar, the brilliant heart, yeah, that wins finest hour. We were the thunder from the east, the polished skies our power. Forest, where the birch trees weep, they led them from the camp, from a promise they would keep. The lawyers and the teachers, the poets and the sons, the engineers of futures, the man with steady guns. Bound not by rope, but by a cynical deceit. A silent snow dam clearing where the bitter truth would meet. A pistol's crack, a single shot, a number, not a name. To silence not just bodies, but a nation's very fate.
you, cut from blood and stone. And the snow fell down on Canton, trying to hide the crime. A blanket for the guilty, for a long and frozen time. But the earth remembers secrets that the powerful deny, and the truth can only slumber with a dead and staring eye.
One man's signature, one order, cold and absolute. To sever mind from spirit, to bury and uproot. Not just a wartime killing, but a calculated strike. To leave a future nation with no guiding, knowing light. The greatest wound was not the bullet in the end, but the lie that made an ally of the murderer friend. To grieve was called a treason, to question was a sin. Forced to mourn your loved ones, then the worst, the killer's end. Could not hide the crime. The birch trees bore their witness through the passing of the time, and the earth gave up its secrets, though the powerful deny, and the world can hear the echo of that silence final cry. No lie can stand forever
The birch trees bore their witness through the passing of the time, and the earth gave up its secrets, though the powerful deny, and the world can hear the echo of that silenced final cry. No lie can stand forever on a grave of such a scale. Only the sun a hammer on a sea of brass, the wind a sculptor carving dunes of glass. We came from forests, from the Vistula's flow, to this ancient desert where the sirocco's blow. Our homeland's map was torn, our flag in exile fell, but we carried Poland with us to the other side of the world. Tobruk, a name like a fortress, a scar upon the sand, the last defiant harbor in a besieged and burning land. And they called us the Rats of Tobruk, and we took it as a name, a scrappy, digging, biting kind of fame, against the panzer columns and the fox with his design. We held the line, we held the line, with rusted wire and courage and dust in every breath. We scribbled our defiance in the margins of our death, for the honor of the missing, for the homeland far away. In Tobruk we would make our stand, and here we'd stay. Rommel's shadow stretched across the desert floor, a master of the movement of this mechanized war. He threw his steel against our dust, a storm of fire and dread, while overhead the Stuka screamed and filled the sky with lead. But in these dugouts, in this hellish, sun-scorched pit, a different kind of soldier was determined not to quit. Not for empire, not for glory, but for a debt to be repaid, and for the simple, stubborn promise that a free flag would be made. And they called us the Rats of Tobruk, and we wore it like a crown, the ones the desert couldn't in wire and courage and dust in every breath. We scribbled our defiance in the margins of our death. For the honor of the missing, for the homeland far away, in Tobruk we would make our stand, and here we'd stay.
We traded polished winter for this everlasting heat. Traded familiar woodlands for this barren, rocky street. But the fight was still the same one on this distant foreign stage. To rage against the darkness, to turn another page. From the ghetto walls in Warsaw to this perimeter of wire. The same unbroken spirit, the same unquenchable fire.
We spoiled his grand design. We held the bloody line with brotherhood and fury and honor in our chests. We gave the world a lesson that the outmatched fight the best. For the future of the homeland, though we couldn't see the way, in Tobruk we made our stand, and in Tobruk we stayed.
Tobruk. The desert remembers the names.
The sand remembers the game.